Hey, Russell, before we get started, I've just got to reveal that my co-host, Beck, she said she goes, I'm really nervous and intimidated to interview Russell before we start.
I am. I get a bit starstruck and nervous, Russell. So just
even though you're working with Soda every day, you still get starstruck.
Mate, I don't know how she does it, Russell, but she said that. But so I'm just preparing you. If she's navigating her way nervously through any questions, please give her a little bit of leniency.
This is the lady that wants me to say on air live to her audience that I've been grabbing her buns.
Oh my God, you got that.
Nervous.
Oh, we didn't even know you got that because, Russell, what we're actually doing, we've got a great mate that does this wonderful charity where he gives 60,000 breakfasts to needy kids every week. It's actually a phenomenal program and they need a van. So we've been selling hot cross buns so we can buy this van to feed these kids. And we said we should see if Russell will say he got his hands on our buns, but he won't say it, so we won't even bother. I didn't even know you got the message.
Well, here we go. We'll record it. I have got my hand on Beck's buns.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Here's
God.
another version.
Okay, the
Here's
nerves.
another version.
The nerves of.
This is the sort of like, expanded sexuality version. I have my hands on Beck and Soda's buns.
Oh my gosh. Something has just happened.
Hey, Russell,
to me.
I think we need a mop and bucket to the studio to get Beck out of here.
That charity sounds fantastic. You had any idea? I mean, what is the goal that you're aiming for?
Mate, what we're trying to do, so this is a mate of ours.
You said you were raising money for a van, but what are you aiming to raise?
We're trying to raise about $70,000 by selling these Belfast hot cross buns, and then the van will actually be used to distribute all these breakfasts to these needy kids. And it's a mate of ours that created it 10 years ago. He's a builder. He started getting the food that was left over at supermarkets each night, and he was going around because he was mentoring kids with his ute, going to primary schools and feeding these kids who really, mate, had, been dealt the worst hand in life possible. He's a phenomenal guy. He's nominated for Australian of the Year.
How much have you raised so far?
I think we're around about $50,000, getting towards the 70 to be able to purchase this van because their last van's busted.
Yeah, we're nearly there.
Okay, so I'm going to chip in $5,000. I'll talk to your producer later on. I'll set them up with a guy from my office and we'll put that check in because this just sounds like a fantastic thing. And I'm really happy to help out.
Russell, I'm really emotional about that. That is, that is an outstanding contribution and completely unexpected. We didn't. Yeah, thank you so much.
Russell, thank you, mate. The guy's name's Ian Steele. He's a ripping bloke, mate. You'd love him, and he's just a down-to-earth guy, and he still takes the kids from these programs to his houses and that every week and takes them away. So he'll be blown away, mate, and we thank you from the bottom
Ian
of our
Steele,
heart.
You sound like an absolute hero. Well done for setting this up, and great pleasure for me to chip a small amount in and help you along with the things that you're trying to achieve. Russell
Crowe, you are our hero. Thank you so much for doing that. Well, we better, in exchange, plug this outstanding movie of yours. We have a little opener.
Did you get to see it?
We watched it yesterday.
Yep. Let's just play this
absolutely.
opener. Yep.
Russell Crowe joins the show. Better be sure that our questions don't blow. He's royalty of the silver screen, and I can't tell if Beck and Soda are on ever so keen, but SAFM would love to welcome a bloke you know. It's Russell Crowe.
Hey!
That was very odd.
Hey, it's no 30-odd foot of grunt, but it's our man Zach's take on a bit of AC/DC with Russell Crowe.
Cool.
Beautiful.
We did sit down and watch your movie. I must admit, I don't love the horror genre, and I had to keep putting my popcorn to the side because I was worried about the jump scares. But I loved it.
Cool. I mean, I share your thoughts about horror films. I'm not really a horror movie fan at all, but I think there's a lot of other elements in this which take it beyond just being a horror film. There's there's a little elements of Da Vinci Code. There's a little touch of Indiana Jones, but there's also a lot of laughs. I hope that you got a few laughs during the course of the film.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that I found fascinating is the guy that you play, Father Gabriele Amorth, was legitimately the Pope's exorcist, and he performed something like 150,000 exorcisms, he claimed, over his career. Did you watch videos and study this guy, or did you sort of go?
Yeah, there's a lot of material available. That
Yeah.
was one of the things that really excited me, when I got the script. That one, it was a real person, and two, there was so much documented evidence. William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist, actually made a documentary about Gabriele Amorth's work. So, that's available. But also, he was a prolific writer, and he published, I think, 12 books or something like that. Which are first-person memoirs about the things he experienced in the role of chief exorcist for the Vatican. So. It was fascinating. It's just such a treasure chest as an actor to take on a character that has so much, empirical, documented stuff left behind him, because he passed away in 2016. So that was, for me, it was really exciting knowing that there was all that material available.
And you talk about the humour. Those books and the books he wrote were a bit of an ongoing gag through the movie, which I loved.
The books are good.
Yeah,
The books are good.
You see, the thing is, I went to Rome for about 3 weeks, and I had a lot of conversations with his former colleagues, and I met people who were his friends. I met one man who did 160 exorcisms with him. So I had all of those, direct relationships to draw from, and there was a lot of similarities in the way people would talk about. And one of the things that they would talk about was his sense of humor, and his irreverence and his, desire to make sure that the hierarchy of something, kept to the spirit of what it was supposed to be focused on. And, it felt to me like he was just, a man that should be honored for his work. They talk in terms of 160,000 exorcisms, but it depends on which source material you look at as to what, because I think he explained it at one point that sometimes, a single individual in his estimation had way more than a single demonic figure within them. They might have a dozen, so I mean, I believe in his life as a man, the biographical details that I could find out about him. I believe in the work he was doing and his intention. So therefore, I have to look at those books and understand that, that is his experience, and he's documented that. Some of these things that we put a visual to them to make a feature film, because that's the medium, but sometimes these, just like with Beautiful Minds, sometimes these things that are happening to people are oral and not necessarily visual, But, I just, I felt that he was such an interesting person, had such an interesting and big life, that I really wanted to, make sure that there was a sense of him in the film.
Russell, I think obviously you get the demon in the end without ruining the whole
spoiler
movie.
alert.
But I think it's one of 200 demons. So I'm thinking this is going to have more life than Police Academy franchises or Harry Potter, because there's 199 demons to go. This could be going on forever.
Well, we'll see. Most often, so in the job that I'm in, as soon as people start talking about a sequel, that means that you're definitely not making a sequel.
Yes. Yeah.
But, the central premise of the movie is something that's biblical, and it's been sitting there for all this time and nobody else has grabbed on it. There was 200 fallen angels, and it says in the Bible that they were driven into the earth.
Yeah.
So the premise of this film is that, so there's 200 places around the globe that God is not welcome, Now we have to find those places.
Yes.
So they found the first one, 199 to go. We'll see. That would take a few years to get it sorted.
Russell, one thing I wanted to one day have a chat to you about is I've got one film that is one of my favourite films of all time that you were in, and it has my favourite line of any Australian film, and it was your co-star saying, "When I was his age, I was a right little rooter. Rabbit, they called me."
Oh, yeah. What film was that?
1994.
Love in Limbo or something?
It was Jack Thompson, and it was in The Sum of Us.
Oh, The Sum of Us. Yeah.
It's my favourite line of any Australian film.
Yeah, it was a great film. It was a great film, and really way ahead of its time, considering the conversations where we have now. I actually see Jack quite regularly. I got him to do a small role in a movie that came out last year called Poker Face. But also earlier this year, I did a couple of gigs in Coffs Harbour with my band, and he got up on stage with me and Troy Casadei with his harmonica. He's 82, and he blew the roof off the room, man. You know, he's a true artist, Jack Thompson. I love that guy.
No, it's a great film, mate. I love it. I only watched it a couple of weeks ago, not even knowing we were going to interview you.
Oh, cool. It's probably showing its age now, but it's a very warm movie.
Well, Russell, grazie mille, arrivederci.
Ciao, Beck.
Oh, my God, stop it. Okay, I'm going to go have a cold shower. Thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity to Kickstart for Kids. We will pass it on. They will be forever grateful for what you've done for the hungry kids. Thank you.